Next up, we have a presentation on building staking infrastructure for corporates. Please welcome Alexander Ebeling and Maximilian Beyer, both from T-Systems, in the pink sneakers. Nice, I love it. Welcome. Hey, stage is yours. Yeah, take one of those. There's a clicker if you need one.
Check one, two.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you very much for the warm welcome. Happy to be here at Crypto Asset Conference. Really cool. Kudos to Philip and the team, what they built up here, definitely. Nice. Yeah, we have, I think it's quite not that difficult to see that we are from Deutsche Telekom, T-Systems, with the magenta sneakers and magenta shirts. So I'm Alex, working at the business, at the Blockchain Solution Center at T-Systems. I'm one of the co-founders, and here is...
My name is Max, hi, and I'm product owner for staking solutions here at Deutsche Telekom, Blockchain Solution Center.
Perfect. I want to double down the last slide, definitely, because the adoption, corporate adoption, is really important for Web3 and blockchain, and we are a corporate as well, definitely. So not only T-Systems, but we are part of the group Deutsche Telekom, and use cases. The last slide, or the last point, is one of the important ones, and where the role of a corporate or the role of an enterprise in Web3 in blockchain, and this why to play for us. You can see here on the slide. So in the early days, we were in charge for the communication for voice, classic landline, telephone lines. We see actually now in the Web2 ecosystems, we are in charge for the internet, with our data centers, with our cloud environment. This is the thing where our value proposition is. We can this really, really good, enterprise-grade operation of infrastructure. And what is then the next step? If you're looking in 5–10 years, if you're looking of the adoption, like the use case by BMW and the use cases in finance, where the right to play for Deutsche Telekom and T-Systems in these Web3. And for us, we directly can answer this question in that we can providing infrastructure for Web3 as well, for blockchains, that we can provide nodes, validators, that we can provide block producers via our infrastructure, via our capabilities, via our infrastructure for the Web3, for blockchains. And this is not only the thing we are doing, or we want to do, this is the thing we are already doing with different networks, with different protocols, and we want to dig deeper in this later. But first, this is our right to play, but maybe whole of the public, of the attendance here and the participants are not in the telco area like we are. You're more or less in the banking area.
Yes, and yeah, for preparing the slides and attending this Frankfurt School of Finance Crypto Asset Conference, we of course asked ourselves, now we know our right to play, but what actually is the right to play for banks inside Web3? Since, probably some of you remember, Bitcoin was first invented to get rid of our banking system. And right now we're seeing, again, different difficulties inside our banking system. And still, the voices get louder and louder that Bitcoin can solve it. And I don't want to blame here on the banking sector and come back to this right now. Since banks can help with the adoption of cryptocurrencies, because as we see or heard from JP Morgan this morning, the adoption for cryptocurrency is still in the early days. It is not really convenient to sign up at MetaMask and then trade with cryptocurrencies and buy NFTs or stuff like this. So a lot of mainstream people don't really can connect to this Web3 world of cryptocurrencies, which is why we think that banks can really help with the mainstream adoption here. The slide maybe for some crypto natives be like, no, this can be not your keys, not your tokens, and I definitely support this comment. But for example, if we look 15 years back in the days, online banking, for example, was especially in Germany, a difficult topic. Not very much people trusted in the beginning of it, and the same could be for cryptocurrencies. So we think banks should offer in a broad scale wallet infrastructure for their people, and then helping them to enter the Web3 space. And not only from an investing perspective for trading, for example, but even more to enter the Web3 space. First things first, staking, earning passive income with your tokens, but then entering DeFi and even more magical things like governance rights in decentralized autonomous organizations. And this is really the key for the banking system to understand that these tokens are not just a new investment they can offer to their customers, but also, yeah, opening up completely new use cases to their customers.
And this is these are not only buzzwords for us. You can trust us because we are already doing this. So what Max mentioned with staking, government, DeFi, we're doing this practically in our corporation. So we solve these problem or this challenge, how to find the correlation of willingness of top management support, to have a strategy support here, and yeah, we solve this rabbit hole questions and doing this. So we're doing decentralized organization, DAO governance decision. We're doing staking, and we're doing, and this is maybe the starting point, and we're doing Oracle services for Chainlink. So this was the starting point, how we find our way or our path through the Web3 ecosystem. We started, yeah, back in the days, 2017, classic B2B business, project-driven business, proof of concepts, innovation projects. This was quite nice and good earning revenue, definitely. But the problem was itself, okay, where's really the core use case and the identity of our clients and our customers there? And we did a lot of cool things, but not mainly on private and permission blockchain, honestly. And then 2021, we reiterate this question. Okay, we want to go in the Web3 ecosystem. If the adoption increase massively, as we see, if the public blockchain infrastructure is now scalable and is now working with use cases like DeFi or NFT, and then our first step was that we have an up and running Chainlink validator, because we saw, okay, we are good to go in operating infrastructure, and how difficult it could be to operate an Chainlink operation and Chainlink Oracle. So this was the tipping point, and quite fascinating, because so this was more or less a mission on our side. Okay, do it and apologize later. So we don't ask so many questions. If it's possible to, for example, buy Ether, yeah, because for a Chainlink operator, we need to buy Ether. We need to use these Ether for operating these services, and then we receive link tokens. And then we have to sell these link tokens to euros. So you could imagine a little bit, it's not that easy, but it works. Actually, it works so far that, for example, on one day, it was in February 2021, gas price peaks, and we burned 150 Ether per day. So 150 Ether was it was gone. We received link token, but imagine, okay, we had a meeting in the CFO office to talk about this question. Okay, what happened there? 150 Ether, good. Okay, where are they? And what are our earnings? So it was quite challenging, but it works so well that we then bootstrap these competences. So we're starting then after with Flow Network, come to this later, then with Celo, with a different approach, Polkadot, and then I think it was 2 weeks ago, we finally...
Yeah, probably. End of September, after the merge, we launched our Ethereum.
Finally, yes. We are finally good to go to provide liquid staking on Ethereum, really cool. So this was our starting from the B2B perspective, where the use case, where the adoption, and then, okay, seeing what is our value proposition, what's our way to play. Okay, we are owning infrastructure, come on, we are own open telecom cloud, our own secure backbone, where we can give these capabilities and these expertise to the Web3 community. And we did this quite successful.
Yeah, since, as Alex mentioned, the roadmap of joining these different networks, we're doing this with a very holistic approach. So it is in our interest that we connect to the foundations behind those public blockchain networks, and then trying to bootstrap our infrastructure to help decentralizing it. And then with gaining this knowledge and connection to the foundations behind it, we want to build up use cases on those public blockchains, because this is where the magic happens. You need to bring life on public blockchain networks to really accelerate use cases and bring up new ideas, which is why we connected with Dapper Labs behind Flow. And for Celo, for example, we also invested in the Celo token itself with our venture capital DTCP, and also working together with A16Z here. And same goes for Polkadot with the Web3 Foundation. We're also working together here very closely. And for Ethereum, first time, I think maybe in the world, a corporate joined a decentralized autonomous organization with Stakewise, and they were providing liquid staking for Ethereum.
So we are not, and maybe to highlight this, we are not only providing the infrastructure for some networks like Flow or Ethereum, we are already investing in this network. So like Celo, for example. So this holistic network approach, we see that we are not only the stupid infrastructure provider, we are already want to be part of this network from the investment perspective and want to bring use cases on it. And maybe you don't know all these from your Celo blockchain. Celo blockchain has this mobile-first approach. This is really close to our use cases and to our clients worldwide in the telco business area, that you can use Celo blockchain. I think the slogan is, if you can text, you can crypto. So they bind it, for example, your mobile number to your Celo account. And this is classic Y2Play for us. And because of that, we are invested. And maybe, and Reason Horowitz as well. They delegate their stake to us. So I think this is more or less more trust you can get if one of the biggest venture capital delegate their stake to us. So this is more or less our network approach, different approaches. First of all, okay, oracles, fine. Then classic infrastructure providing, then investing, and the end of the circle is use cases on top of this, because then you will see scale effects, multiplicator effects, and this is the point where we want to go.
Yeah, and just to emphasize one more point, Alex, you mentioned that A16Z is delegating their tokens to us, and this comes because of reasons. You see 4 of them here. We deploy our validators on our own infrastructure. And if you think about decentralization of public blockchain networks, this is really essential. Where is the infrastructure, in which cloud, or where is it spin up? For example, if you followed the media around Ethereum right now with 51% OFAC compliant transactions, and we see that legislation of America is thinking about, might Ethereum not be an American entity, since most of the validators are set it up in America. So this is really key when it comes to decentralization. You need to choose your validator right, a trusted partner. And that's why we entered this space. We're doing our validators with 100% green energy and, of course, compliant, audited, and with 24/7 on-duty services.
Maybe one short view of the landscape. So in general, the other validators are mainly running on AWS and on Azure, I guess, and then Google Cloud Service. So we have a centralized architecture there. And this is, I think there was happening beginning of this year where AWS had some problems, some infrastructure operation problems, and more or less, I think it was 40 or 50% of the Ethereum node was down. And this is one value proposition we can give to other protocols as well, because we are owning our own infrastructure. We are not relying on AWS. So the main competition in the staking ecosystem are startups who don't have the access to their own infrastructure. They're using AWS, for example, and Azure. But this is, one of the main points of a value proposition, why we are good in the market. Yeah.
And maybe one more point to add here regarding the tokens itself. It is also necessary to think about how decentralized they are. I was just talking about the issues most of the validators running in America. If you look at the token values, the two biggest central exchanges, Coinbase and Kraken, are based in America, which is also a significant point to look at for other banks, smaller banks, to open up their custodial infrastructure for the public to help decentralizing public blockchain networks. Since, Kraken and Coinbase did do their homework, it's easy to buy tokens and own them there, but it doesn't help any public blockchain network if they're all at one place.
Yeah, exactly. This is, decentralized. It's the key thing. Maybe to one last sentence, and then we are done, and you can go to the lunch. Is we're starting with the question how set up staking infrastructure in corporate. For me, the learning after 5 years in blockchain space is. Still the only sentence, do it. Do it now, do it in small scale, proof of concept. I think the same mission or the same sentence or the same idea has Philip as well here. Do it, some proof of concept, do showcases, and apologize later if something happens. So don't ask so many questions. Ask your devs, ask your IT architects how to set this up, and then it's quite easy, and make it. And not wait too long. And this is the point why we have so much success. Yeah.
And that's why we grew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Happy to have some questions.
Thank you very much. Two clarifications. One, now you get to ask questions. So the motto of don't ask questions doesn't apply right now. So feel free to raise your hands. And the second clarification, there will be a panel right after this. So don't go into lunch break right away. But since we have a few minutes left, are there any questions for these gentlemen? There's one. Thank you, Sophie. Fine job, by the way.
Thank you. No.
Just, it will activate.
Got it. Can you tell us a little bit more about your thoughts on custody? You touched a little bit on that towards the end, but all of what you're doing, you may be the infrastructure, but it all sort of starts and ends with custody too.
Yeah, so custody, a topic of regulation, which is why we see ourselves as infrastructure provider, which is why we don't own tokens from a third party, right? We want to connect with, for example, custodians, banks, institutional investors, VCs, but really don't want to take their tokens from their wallet. They always should be in their wallet. We can help companies to understand how custody works, but we don't do anything inside custody yet.
Yeah, just because some of the other technology providers have been, I think, caught in the situation where they're providing technology, but the entity they're providing that to doesn't realize what the implications are for custody, and then they get stuck in a bad situation.
Yeah, we are not a financial service provider, neither a bank, and we don't want to do this. We are a telco company, and this is the point. We maybe in the future want to offer wallet solutions or payment solutions. The classic Deutsche Telekom did this, I think, 15 years ago in Germany, or tried to do this, but was failed. In other countries, so payment solutions, wallet solutions, but no custody. So we are not a financial service provider. So we are not in a competition with you. We want to work with you.
Great. All right. Then please give it up one more time for Alexander and Maximilian from T-Systems MMS.